Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Sharifah Nufarisha binti Wan Rani. My metric number is 1240673. I'm from KLB2 TLB6. So for my individual assignment, I will be presenting about the case of Bank Islam Malaysia Berhad against Adnan bin Omar. So let's get started. So, first of all, we will take a look on the overview of this case. The plaintiff is Bank Islam Malaysia Berhad and the defendant is Adnan bin Omar. The hearing took place on 18 July 1994 in the High Court of Malaya, which located in Shah Alam. The presiding judge for this case is Dato' Ranita Hussein. So, what are the objectives of this presentation? The first one is to analyze how this case has set a precedent in the Malaysian legal system. This involves examining how the judgment in this case has influenced subsequent legal decisions and shaped legal practices in Malaysia. The second one is to examine the court's decision and the reasoning behind it. Here, we will break down the ruling given by the High Court and delve into the legal and factual considerations that guided the judge's decisions. And the last one is to explain the legal principles that emerge from the case. We will explore the key legal doctrines or principles established in this case and how they contribute to the development of Malaysian law. So now, let me explain to you guys about the facts of the case. On 2nd March 1984, Adnan bin Omar, the defendant, applied for a loan from Bank Islam Malaysia Berhad, the plaintiff, to purchase a certain parcel of land. On the same day, Adnan and Bank Islam entered into a Baik Bersamaan Ajil or known as BBA agreement whereby Bank Islam agreed to purchase the land for 265,000 ringgit and sell it to Adnan for 583,000 ringgit. The land was mortgaged to Bank Islam as security for the financing, and also on the same day, Adnan was required to make monthly installment payments of a specified amount over a period of 180 months. Unfortunately, Adnan failed to make the required monthly payments. Therefore, Bank Islam decided to file an originating summons under Order 83 of Rules of the High Court 1980. So, what are the issues of this case? The first issue is whether the High Court has jurisdiction to hear Bank Islam's application. This question is critical as it determines if the case was brought before the correct court under Malaysian law, either civil court or Sharia court. And the second issue is whether the plaintiff is complied with Order 83 Rule 3 of the Rules of the High Court 1980, which governs the procedural requirements for foreclosure applications. Ensuring compliance with these rules is essential for the application's validity. And the final issue is whether the defendant is entitled to a rebate or muqassah in this case. This revolves around whether the defendant should receive a discount or adjustment on the outstanding amount due to early settlement or other factors. Then, let us take a look on the court held. The court found that all transactions in this case were conducted under the Baik Bersamaan Ajil or BBA financing scheme, which is a Sharia-compliant mode of deferred payment financing. This scheme requires the sale of an asset at a deferred price agreed upon by both parties, ensuring compliance with Islamic principles. The second one is the court held that the claim was deemed to have complied with Rule 3 Clause 3 Paragraph A of the Rules of the High Court 1980. The court highlighted that the financing amount provided by Bank Islam matched the contractual terms, affirming the bank's adherence to the legal and procedural requirements. And lastly, the court ruled that muqassah or rebate was not applicable in this case because the defendant failed to fulfill the payment obligation as agreed in the financing contract. Since muqassah is typically granted when there is early settlement or full compliance with the agreed terms, the defendant's non-compliance disqualified him from receiving any rebate. So now, let us discuss about this case. This case reaffirmed that contracts based on Sharia principles are recognized and enforceable under Malaysian civil law. This clarification is significant because it integrates Islamic financial practices within the dual legal framework of Malaysia, ensuring that Islamic finance operates effectively alongside conventional law. Other than that, the court ruled in the favor of Bank Islam, confirming that the contract was valid and enforceable under both Sharia principles and civil law. This decision validated the procedures followed by Bank Islam in executing the contract and confirmed that the terms were consistent with Islamic finance principles such as transparency and fairness. It set a precedent for future cases involving Islamic banking disputes. Last but not least, the case also emphasizes the importance of consumer protection in the Islamic banking sector. The court highlighted that clients must be fully informed of their rights and obligations under Sharia-compliant contracts. Now, let's move on to the justification for the court's decision. The court justified its decision by upholding that Sharia-compliant contracts are enforceable under Malaysian civil law. The court found that the contract met both Islamic finance principle and legal requirements, ensuring fairness to both parties involved. Additionally, the court justified Bank Islam's action by confirming that the bank had acted in good faith and fulfilled its fiduciary duty. The terms of the contract were transparent and the bank had disclosed all necessary information to Adnan, ensuring no exploitation. Lastly, the court also justified the ruling by emphasizing the need for consumer protection. It highlighted that Bank Islam had made clear the client's contractual obligation and rights, which safeguard against any unfair practices and ensures the consumer is well informed. And now we are at the final part of my presentation. In conclusion, the case highlights the need for fairness in financial transactions, ensuring that the clients are not subjected to any form of exploitation in contracts. Also, it serves as a major precedent in Islamic banking as it reinforces that Sharia-compliant contracts are legally enforceable under Malaysian civil law. So, my recommendation is for Islamic bank, they need to continuously provide training for employees to better explain Sharia-compliant products to clients to ensure contracts are clear and transparent. And for customers, they need to educate themselves about Islamic financial contracts, including their rights and obligations, before entering into agreements to avoid any misunderstandings. So it is the end of my presentation. Thank you for your attention.